I can't blame this relationship for how I feel. I can't blame me losing this money in an investment for how it makes me feel. I need to take full responsibility for my life. And if I want things to change, I have to make them change. And I shifted my whole energy around how I saw the world. Before, I was a victim. I was a victim of circumstance, of people, of things. And I just felt so trapped in this world of, if my circumstance is like this, then this is what I've got to deal with. So from me taking responsibility, I realized that I control the world I want to see. I'm the one who gets to take radical responsibility and choose this is happening for me. How is this breakup my biggest turning point instead of my biggest reason to feel sad about myself? How is this investment that was a complete scam? How is this an opportunity for me to pick up the mirror and look at what's my part to play in this and what can I learn from this? And so what's happened since then is I've been seeking out the unknown in every circumstance, because the unknown is the only place where infinite possibilities exist. If you think about, oh yeah, I know exactly how much money I'm going to earn until the day I die. I know exactly when I'm going to go on holiday and, what time I get up and what time I go to sleep. Your world is a series of events that are just the same. And so you don't actually need to change yourself. And so you don't evolve and you don't grow. When you live in the unknown, yes, it might feel as safe because there's no guarantees, but there's no guarantees. There's no cap. It is unlimited. And that's how you create magic and you tap into this world of infinite possibilities. And since that moment, I've just been taking leap after leap after leap and collecting so much evidence that, oh my gosh, when I follow my soul, it always works out. It always works out. And even if you leap and maybe the result that you want didn't happen, it's about saying, okay, how can I respond to this? How can I choose to look for the lesson? How can I choose to forgive someone? And how can I take responsibility for my part to play in this? And it's just been a series of leap and leap and leap and leap since that very moment.
Oh, it's so good to hear. I mean, it takes a deep level of self-awareness, I think, to do that. And you have to be like humble as well and just let go of the ego and say, when you ask yourself that question, what part did I have to play in this investment scam? It's a hard question, I think, because you can feel like a victim. You can just feel like all this stuff is happening to you. And I can just see you doing that. I see you leaning into so many experiences. Like in the past year, you've been to Bali. Where have you been? Bali, Mexico. Tell me where you've been.
Yeah, well, I wake up every morning and I'm like, okay, where am I? Let me just check. So since the end of the relationship, as soon as it ended, I booked a ticket to Bali. I spent 3 weeks just immersing myself in tantric retreats, just like really leaning into this sensual expression that was so suppressed for so long. Then I went to Australia to speak at a conference. Then I went to Mexico, and then I came back to England. So this is another turning point for me because I was finally, quote unquote, free. There was nothing holding me back. I had no kids, I had no partner, I just had an online business. So I was in my friend's house living in Manchester. And of course, it was the time of the C bomb. And it was a real good opportunity for me to get quiet with myself and think, okay, what do I really want? And that's when the podcast came in. And I was like, if I don't do this now, like seriously, Kim, what the heck are you going on about? So I took full responsibility. I couldn't blame anyone anymore. I couldn't be a victim of circumstance. I couldn't say it's not the right time for me. I've got this going on and that going on. I just decided to grab the bull by the horns and I did it. I remember the very first episode that I made of that podcast. And oh my God, the person that I am now, just 2 years after, it's been because I've leaped into experiences that have shifted my identity. So what I love about retreats and coaching containers and podcasts is it provides people with an experience where they shift their identity And when you become a different version of you, you attract different circumstances. So this is like the whole like attracts like. If you feel everything's happening to you, you'll attract things that are happening to you. If you see the world through the lens of everything's happening for me and how can I celebrate this, you'll attract so many more things that you can celebrate. And it's this compound of high vibration, high alignment that just keeps you on that frequency. You know, it's like, imagine if all of your dreams were on 111 FM. It's like, how can I dial into that version of me? And how can I calibrate my energy to that radio station consistently over time? Now, of course, life is going to happen. There's going to be flights that you miss. There's going to be, I don't know, just certain things in your business. Maybe you launched something, it didn't go as well as you thought. It's totally within our control how we respond. So one thing I've got really good at is like celebrating everything and seeing my work in this world as a long-term investment. Like I have both feet in over time. Whereas before I used to live month to month and think if I don't have this result externally, I'm not successful. Like how many people listening are judging their success based on external results? So because of this work I've been doing and shifting my world from living on the inside out, I now view success as the way that I respond, how I show up in challenges, how I can stay on this high vibe frequency that holds me in this place of miracles. And I talk all the time about, you know, how do you become a magnet for miracles? Is you believe that it's coming. You trust and know that no matter what the world is showing you right now, there's always going to be a bit of a lag time. So this experience of me being in lockdown really anchored in what's important to me. And what's important to me is living my life, like feeling wealth from the inside out. And wealth to me is enjoying a richness of experiences in the now. All we have is right now. So I really understood that if I want to shift my reality, I have to make decisions from that future version of me. So I remember clear as day, me and Gina got back from our road trip in Ibiza. We decided to escape England and we're like, should we just drive to Ibiza? So we spent like a week driving to Ibiza. We had the best summer there. Then we drove back and we landed back in Manchester in like November 2020. And I remember hearing the news and Boris was on about this second lockdown. And I was like, no. We need to go to Bali. So I tuned in with myself and I said, what would this highest version of me be doing, wearing, speaking? How would this millionaire, wealthy version of me be really living? And that's when Bali came in. I was like, right, just need to book a one-way ticket to Bali. I see myself living in this luxurious villa with loads of friends, having amazing experiences. I'd be wearing Warriors of the Divine clothing, Fluke the Label, Ananda Soul, which were all like premium, luxurious eco brands. I'd get rid of me Primark knickers. I'd get rid of all.
But they're so sexy, babe. I've seen your Primark knickers.
Babe,
you fire. I'm so sad you got rid of them.
You know it. I was hoarding so much stuff. Like I had a whole storage unit full of clothes and sofas and wardrobes, you know, that scarcity feeling of, oh, I just might need this. You never know when I might need this one day, Doris. That energy is lack, it's scarcity. And I was holding on to an old version of myself, which keeps me anchored in the old version of myself, which magnetizes the same things. So I chose to step into abundance and I literally gave away 90% of my possessions in 2 days. Okay. I was driving back and forth from Liverpool, advertising on Facebook, just come and get this. I don't want any money. Just grab it and run because I'm done with this. I gave most of my clothes away to charity, put 10% in my dad's house and sorted out visas, flights, all that kind of stuff. And then went to Bali. So 3 weeks in to being in Bali, I find myself living in this luxury 6-bedroom mansion with friends at Christmas time. And I was doing a photo shoot for the Warriors of the Divine, Fluke the Label, and Ananda Soul.
Babe. No Primark knickers to be seen.
No, so that was a complete manifestation. And that's because I chose to embody the future me now. And this is how you make quantum shifts, by making decisions from that place. Because the future is created now. If you dial into that version of you who already has the millions, who already has the business, who already has all those things, and you fully act as that version of you, that's how you magnetize it to you. And since then, I've been living in Bali for the past 18 months. And then me and my friend Gina have just been really embodying this new abundance level of magnetism in our lives. So we've been investing in ourselves so much with a mentor that we love called Reagan Hillier. So we joined her mastermind back in December 2021. And then we found out she was doing a retreat in Peru. Now, this retreat was like a 10-day plant medicine retreat, which is all about just helping you to quantum shift like millions of lifetimes through clearing subconscious programming and just really like tapping into this universal frequency. And it was $20,000, right? So, I mean, I've got money in investments and things are tied away, but like to have that amount of money in cash ready and available to pay, I was like, oh my God, okay, yeah, good for you. I'm just gonna be here. she's like, babe, we are going. I'm gonna book it and it's done. And I was like, oh my God. But then I tapped back into what would the future version of myself be doing if I was already earning, 6 figures a month? I'd be on that retreat. So guess what? I booked it. I sorted out a payment plan. I was paying every month and the money just came. The clients came, the level ups came. So my lesson from that is, even if it feels scary and even if the outside world is not showing you what you want to see, I took full responsibility for being that change. And I knew that if I didn't leap, I would regret it and I would stay exactly where I was. So sometimes these quantum shifts in growth and wealth, success and abundance, you have to just have the faith and trust that everything is going to work out. So I leaped and I've just been leaping ever since. Like I've been making some serious big moves. I've just invested like $30,000 in a one-on-one coach for 3 months. I went to Egypt for a retreat, which was like a week of just like magic and mystery and just so much expansion. So the past 2.5 months, I feel like I've grown about 20 years. And this is the power of, like I said, having those expansive experiences, because when you're in a different environment, it forces you to transform because you have to be a different version of yourself to actually be in those environments.